Hey guys, so we're here in the hospital. Hey guys, so we're here in the hospital. Elijah just had his third surgery on Monday. He's doing better. Some of you, especially if you haven't watched like every vlog from the last 3 months, 5 months, some of you might think that the reason we moved back from Norway early was because of Elijah and him being born with this condition that required surgery. Others of you maybe even thought that it's coronavirus. It's actually neither one of those things, although Elijah's situation did affect our timeline a little bit. So if you went back and watched like every single vlog, you would kind of get the whole story, but I want to kind of tell the story here succinctly. That's what we're talking about today. But yeah, here we are in the hotel room, hospital room. It's not really a hotel room. Oh. Hi, buddy. What are you doing? Why's Daddy sticking out at you? You're smiling. You haven't smiled in a couple days.
Don't get him crying.
Well, he's not been crying. I got shots of him earlier and he wasn't crying. Oh, no,
He's just crying because he's hungry.
You got a little purple dress looking thing on there.
The blue one's gone.
They give you silly looking outfits in this place. What does that have on it? Little kitty cats.
Dogs.
I don't know if that's an acceptable angle or not.
See.
Look at this. This is his little hospital room. Children's Mercy Hospital has like a rule against filming in the hospital, but I kind of feel like it's maybe like specifically in areas with like kids walking around and patients, and it's just easier to like say no filming at all. But if you're from Children's Mercy and you see this video, you're like, ooh, they broke the rules. Sorry. We're only filming in our room, so hopefully that's okay. So we've been missionaries in Norway the last 2.5 years. Our original plan, there's a vlog about this plan and how it wasn't really from God, but it was our plan, was to stay in Norway for 4 years. And last summer when Tasha was pregnant with Elijah, God kind of clearly spoke to both of us and told us that we were actually not going to be in Norway for 4 years, that we're going to move back to the US quicker, and started talking about 2020. And so we started to kind of wrestle through that and felt peace with it, and we're moving forward with that idea, knowing that Elijah was going to be born in January. We were thinking maybe around April we would move back to the US, have some transition before we start staffing here with YWAM Kansas City. And when Elijah was born, we were kind of very zeroed in on that plan. We'd already bought plane tickets for April to come home, and when he was born and we found out that he had this serious condition that required multiple surgeries, we immediately kind of started second guessing all of our plans and thinking through what are we doing. And initially we thought we'd stay in Norway for the surgeries, and we're thinking maybe we'll need to stay in Norway longer than April because he'll need the surgeries and they won't be able to get them done that fast. And then we actually felt like, no, we need to go back to the US sooner. Sorry, buddy, I'm distracting you from your dinner. You want to see me? Hi. Hey there, booty. Hi. Say, Daddy, you go over there talking so much. What you talking about? You talking about me? I kind of am. Not just you, though. You good-looking kid. You good-looking guy. So once he was born and we got over kind of the shock, we really had a decision to make. Should we stay in Norway for the surgery or come home to the US? And prayed about it, felt like we were supposed to come home to the US. So our timeline was moved forward. We changed our flights from flying in April back to the US to flying in late February. And it actually was, we got to the US before coronavirus hit. I mean, like a week or two before it started to become really a big deal in the headlines and that sort of thing. And then we drove up to Kansas City in mid-March and got here like 2 days before they locked down the place, and we've just been in quarantine until they've opened things up recently here in Kansas City. So, moving back from the U.S. to work with YWAM Kansas City, for us, feels completely independent of Elijah's situation and coronavirus. It just feels like that's where God led us and the timing that God had for us. And so we're super thankful for that. It really, in a lot of ways, is a very clear sign of God's leadership and provision over our family, that He said to us to move back before all this happened, because if we hadn't been planning on moving back, we might have been like, oh, maybe we should move back now, which would have been fine. But the way that God kind of led us to move back in advance, it kind of makes me feel like, oh, we were supposed to move back in the first place, and God knew this was coming, and He was preparing us and getting things set up, and I already wrestled through the whole process of leaving Norway. So anyway, Elijah and his situation did cause us to move back a few months earlier, but not a few years earlier than we were expecting. That was just because God told us to. And we're excited to be here. We're excited about what God has ahead for us here, because He's got something that He brought us here for, and we're pumped. So we did this live stream last week, which is pretty cool. I know that not everybody has watched the live stream that typically watches the videos, because the views are lower on it, which is totally fine. It's longer. Future, I don't know how many live streams we'll do or what they'll look like, but I kind of think that for a little while I might start doing them maybe every week or every other week or something like that, depending on the week. Something that's you've probably picked up on in other videos, the channel trailer we just did, and then if you watch the whole live stream, then you heard this already there. But something I want to say here is we've been wrestling through what's this channel about and where we headed, and we changed the name and settled on the direction being very focused on missions. And something that I've been wrestling with even more very recently is just what is it that we are offering as value, and that is that we're offering an honest perspective at missions. And then what is it that, why are we doing that? And that's the question that I've been wrestling with, is why an honest perspective at missions? What does that do? What's our goal with this channel? What do we want to see happen with this channel, with these videos? And I think I've gotten much more clarity on that recently, though it is still in process, obviously. But I feel like the clarity that I've gotten is that the reason I want to be honest about missions and our experience in missions, and go out and seek out honesty from other missionaries and their experience in missions, is because we're passionate about missions, we're passionate about reaching the unreached, and we want to remove as many obstacles as we can from people who have a call to missions. We want to remove obstacles from their path of obedience to God, wherever that leads them, whatever that looks like. And so if you feel like you have a heart for missions, our hope is that this channel encourages you, inspires you to say yes to God, to believe God, and to not let things like finances or fear or the unknown keep you from just obeying God. So kind of in process. This is a little different than a typical vlog. Been in the hospital all week. We'll be here probably the next couple days too. So figured I'd make a little video real quick. I will schedule a live stream hopefully soon, so be on the lookout for that. I think it'll be next week, maybe on Thursday again. So we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.